Hey, and welcome to the Vergecast from CES in beautiful downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's not CES day one, it's CES day zero.
Yeah.
And we're now officially really for real with no technical problems starting.
What do these people say?
Our nightly cast, Vergecast.
Yeah.
Are we on the air? Are we good?
Somebody just kept saying, I don't know, there's spammers.
Okay. Anyhow, so we're in Vegas.
Vegas.
We're in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What, is there another Vegas that you know of? Is there like a sand
Vegas?
El Vegas, Sand Vegas. We're in Las Vegas, beautiful downtown Las Vegas. We're really right on the Strip here.
Yeah.
If right on the Strip is at the convention center.
It's not.
Under the monorail.
Under a monorail. At the convention center, under a monorail.
In a parking lot.
It's like an Anthony Kiedis some Anthony Kiedis poetry. It's like the sequel to Under the Bridge.
Under the monorail.
Under the monorail. Anyhow, but we've been through like kind of 2 days of coverage.
Yeah. Today was the first.
Today was the first real day of
stuff started like 7
of major keynote addresses and press events. We did like Sony, Samsung, Microsoft, Nokia.
I started the day at Vizio.
Yeah. One of these things is not like the other.
No, not at all.
One of these is slowly becoming
One
like
set is an
true.
entrenched.
Actually, I wanted that.
Well, no, I was saying, and did you hear what I said earlier about Vizio?
We didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh yeah, right. I'm Josh Topolsky.
I'm Paul Miller.
Neil Apatow.
That's my favorite part.
I mean, you're not watching this if you don't know who we are.
Who are we? Who are you?
Who are you? That's the question you need to answer. You know what I really regret about last night most of all?
You know what we should do?
Is that amazing conversation we had about Alf.
It's true.
We had the most amazing dissection of what the real meaning of Alf.
Yeah, and it ended with, "Can you toilet train a chicken?" I believe.
Yeah. Let's just say that you figure out how we got to "Can you toilet train a chicken?"
Email to podcast at
I
the
mean,
Verge.
we'll
pick the best solution.
I think we hit every possible angle of. We were on every side of anything.
You know what
could
it
ever
was?
talk
We were
about.
so raring to go with like coverage at CES, like just dissecting, analyzing, contextualizing.
Yeah.
That Alf was just like raw meat.
How did Alf even come up? Oh, you were. How did it come up?
I don't remember. Maker's Mark.
You were the only guy drinking. Anyhow,
I brought it up.
So here's the thing. So we're doing the first. This is the first Vergecast tonight. The CES podcast / recap. And I asked Robert Scoble if he would come over at some point to just do an interview or whatever. And he said he was going to come over. I think he wants to come over late at night. Yeah. So I said, hey, we're going to start at 10 or 10:30, and we usually go about an hour. So it's possible, and I don't know if it's going to happen. And Scoble, if you're watching now, feel free to just come on over. But
do you
it's
think
possible.
that if anyone's broadcasting anything on the internet, they can address Scoble and he'll hear it?
I think that Scoble he's like the architect. Scoble's like the architect in the Matrix, and he has a room full of TVs.
He actually does have a room full of TVs.
No, he does have a room full of TVs. He follows like 500,000 people on Twitter, and he actually reads each tweet. That's what's so amazing. And yeah, so Scoble may like come over here later. I'm hoping we can have a drink together.
Oh God.
That'll be a private. That's gonna be private. I guess we can get him in here. Anyhow. So a lot of stuff happened at CES already. We've had some major stuff. Microsoft did its final keynote tonight, which Paul and I live blogged.
Man.
Which I'd love to say, oh my God, there's so much stuff to unpack from that keynote. But the only thing that I can unpack right now is that I'm happy they're not doing any more CES.
Well, no, it's funny because I read your coverage of Microsoft, and I know you guys were half reading our stuff at Sony. Because Sony was equally
Sony was the opposite.
Right.
No, but Sony was the opposite.
And there's news, which is the big difference.
Well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was still a ridiculous spectacle.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Samsung, Sony, all these press conferences, they are ridiculous. They are stupid. But at the same time, those companies show up with new products. And Microsoft just doesn't think it's necessary that it shares any news with us.
They don't really seem to understand that there is nothing more boring to a group of people who live and breathe technology than to tell them about everything they already know about Microsoft. I mean,
like they were demoing the Kinect.
No, it's galling. It's galling. I mean, they released a new dashboard for Xbox in October, and they're talking about it in January at CES. Like what? That's like me showing you a shirt that I bought in 1987 that you've seen me wear 10 times. Like, hey, check out the shirt.
But in a special presentation.
Can we turn this into a race car analogy? That's like me lapping you when I've already won the race.
No, that's just rude.
It's like you're in a race car and I'm in a boat. Okay, think about it.
But the crazy thing is the only solid news that came out, and I'm excited about this, but Connect for Windows, February 1st. Yeah.
And they have like
but that's like their news.
They have a commercial for it with an awesome version of an orchestral version of "Where's My Mind" by the Pixies.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
isn't that the same band that did all the Social Network stuff? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Trent Reznor?
You mean Trent Reznor?
No, but do you remember the trailer for the Social Network?
Oh, those angelic
No. That was a choir.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on choirs. Don't even talk to me about it. Microsoft had a choir of a tweet choir.
Yeah, a gospel choir singing the tweets
that people were writing about.
Who was arranging
Microsoft.
them?
What? They were the choir were arranging on the
spontaneous.
fly.
Yeah.
But just imagine
just
imagine the lamest tweets in the world, and then imagine having those sung by a gospel choir, and then put that choir in a room full of nerds.
While Ryan Seacrest and Steve Ballmer.
That's the piece
we're
of
like
all
in the dark
that
watching.
you're missing.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot to mention Ryan Seacrest hosted with Steve Ballmer their final keynote, and it was the worst, most upsetting, robotic, scripted conversations. Like Ryan Seacrest was like, "But Windows 8 has really surged in market share." Like it wasn't. That doesn't make any sense because Windows 8 is out. But he was saying stuff that Ryan Seacrest could never possibly think of. No, like. But the DLLs in the latest version of Windows have been greatly reduced.
Because a lot of times when you trot out a celebrity, they make jokes. They're like the comic relief while you have the other people do.
Well, he was making jokes.
Was making it kind of newsy.
He was making jokes too, but then Ballmer was also trying to one up him on the jokes. I don't know. I know we didn't want to start with Microsoft, but I feel like it's freshest in my mind.
No.
Well, it's funny because you can. I'm just contrasting this with Sony. Sony brought out Will Smith and the director of Men in Black 3 to promote Men in Black 3.
Who's it, Barry Sonnenfeld?
Yeah. And they had a bit for them to do, which was about the Sony's cameras. And so Barry Sonnenfeld was sitting there being like, yeah, every night after we directed the movie, I would come home and Will Smith would call me and be like, do you think they can put an AFS-X sensor in the Next 7?
No.
And I was like, Sir Howard can do it. And Will Smith was standing behind me like, yeah, that's what I was doing. I did that. And
your Will Smith impersonation is really aggressive.
Wow. But that's kind of what he was doing. So he was just bored, hopping around.
Oh, you mean he went out into the audience?
No, he was just kind of bouncing around this little area of the stage they were in.
Was he actually behind you?
No. He was 3 feet away.
Oh, behind him. He was behind Barry.
Yeah.
I did see some shots from it, and so Neil went and covered the Sony event. There's nothing else to say about Microsoft, though, is there?
No.
It's their final keynote.
But at the beginning, it sounded like it was just a pause.
So Gary Shapiro, the president of CES, was like, we wish Microsoft the best on this pause on their keynotes, and
I bet this won't be the last.
Yeah, it was like, we think we'll see you back here. It was like weirdly, it was like one part threatening.
It's like I dare you to never come back.
It was like it's like you broke up with somebody and they were so distraught that they vacillated between telling you that you've made the biggest mistake of your life and you'll be back, and also saying that they didn't need you anymore and that they're happy to see you go. They should stay friends.
Yeah. I mean, have you listened to any number of Kelly Clarkson songs?
Well, Kelly Clarkson. Way to bring it back to Sony. That's coming all the way around. Kelly Clarkson was also at Sony, so you
was extremely
had to cover Sony. I like how we're just talking about celebrities and weird stuff, and we haven't said a word about.
I have a whole list of gadgets.
I know you do.
Yeah, say the word.
But Sony was a big event. Will Smith, Kelly Clarkson, Barry Sonnenfeld, and of course, Sir Howard Stringer.
Sir Howard Stringer is amazing. He's my favorite person in the world.
I'd like to get Sir Howard Stringer and Rupert Murdoch at a breakfast together.
I don't think Rupert is funny. Stringer is hilarious.
But they seem like two old, very rich, very white dudes.
Well, I mean,
right?
So
they seem like two masters of the universe types.
Sir Howard had,
and I don't mean in the cool He-Man way.
2 moments during the keynote that were just outstanding Sir Howard moments. Oh, one was he introduced something that was boring, some 3D TV thing.
Oh, and he got
and no one clapped.
Yeah.
And then he came out to the center of the stage and went, "Oh, come on." And then everyone started clapping.
Really?
At the very end.
I like that. I respect that.
And at the very end, he goes, "Sony is the company that invents the future, that makes you say, wow. But I never say wow, but whatever."
It's true. It's true. He never said wow. Can you imagine he's sitting at home and there's a fireworks display, on his estate probably that he paid.
No, he's like,
wow.
charming, capital.
Wow.
This is how I view like his relationship with other executives at Sony. Is that they walk into a room and try to fire him. He's like, "Oh, come on,
Get out the van.
all right."
Wait, they try to fire Stringer?
Yeah, all the time because he's. I mean,
There's no idea what's going on.
He's done nothing for this company.
Oh, like you're out of here. He's like, oh, come now. Come on, let's have some tea. I just like doing this accent. I'm sure our British writers right now are like throwing up all over the trailer.
No, and his third one was he was showing a slide of the 3D viewer, the personal viewer.
The ViewMaster.
Yeah, the big thing, the HMD Z1.
It's not a ViewMaster.
And he goes, that's my personal favorite.
So Sony. But let's talk about. So Sony actually had products.
Sony had a lot of news.
Let's talk about their announcements. From best to worst.
From best to worst, I think the Xperia Arc S.
The Arc S is their.
It's their European version of the phone.
It's their. Is that the one that's the white and the black and they has the thing.
The clear thing, and then so it's
clear.
Yeah, it's like a 4.6-inch 720p display.
Yeah, it's the Galaxy Nexus.
Galaxy Nexus. It's running their scan. Their scan's like whatever. I think it's just a beautiful piece of design.
Is it running ICS?
It looks so good.
It's 2.3.
God, I mean, just.
It looks great, and the really awesome.
I will
thing about
never touch another Android
So
if
you look at photos of it,
ice cream sandwich.
it's like, a big chunk of phone and then like a clear plastic strip and then it's embedded in it. And that clear plastic strip is the antenna, but it's clear. And if you look at it really closely, you can see the mesh in it.
This is like some X-Men stuff.
It's awesome. Like, it's like nerdy.
Does
it's
it
not
morph?
that awesome.
Does that thing morph into other shapes?
No.
Can it morph into a knife?
And the thing about it is it has the Android button.
Whatever happened to morphine, by the way? Remember when morphine was hot stuff?
So it was one Michael
Black
Jackson
or white?
video. Yeah.
But black or white, everybody was like, morphine. Everyone's going to do morphine. Everybody's being morphine in the future. and then that was it.
No morphing.
I mean, morphine became. Here's the thing.
Animal morphs? What was that one?
Animorphs.
Animorphs. Here's the thing. Morphine became so ubiquitous that we don't even think of it as morphine anymore.
No.
It's just something that it's just a regular part of life.
Absorbed into pop culture.
It's just totally absorbed so that morphine is not special.
Yeah, I'm gonna show these people.
By the way, that's my quote of CES. Morphine is not special. Okay, so
this is the Xperia S.
Is that how we're showing it to the viewer?
I guess.
Don't do that. That's low budget.
Well,
That's low budget, unlike this production, which is extremely high budget.
Well, I want to show you something. See these?
Yeah.
Those aren't actually buttons.
What
It's
are they?
super annoying. They're labels for the buttons that are slightly above.
No.
Yeah, so it's like really annoying.
We'll add this to the broadcast so you can see it later.
So that piece is the antenna and it like lights up and the things look
So
like
I'm going to
buttons.
describe what Neeli is showing.
Yeah.
There's a strip at the bottom of the phone, and it's got a back, home, and is that a search button?
A menu.
A menu button. But they're not actually buttons. They're meant to show you the buttons above them.
Yeah, you can see the little dot above them. That's the button.
That's
the
hideous.
capacitive button.
That's
so
the
that's
worst.
really annoying.
Is that to future-proof it for ice cream sandwich, or just because they're stupid?
No, they're like labeled on there. They're still.
Are you sure those aren't buttons?
I'm 100% sure they're not buttons.
Okay.
Because I
if you
tried to
say
push
so.
them many times.
Okay,
And
so this is the Arc. This is the Ion, or no, the Arc S.
Arc S.
Do you think that's the coolest?
I think it's
European.
better designed than the Ion, which
Yeah.
is the US version.
The Ion is the AT&T LTE.
Yeah, and that's 4.3 720p, and it's just a much more boring phone.
It's very boring. It looks like a black slab
It's a
phone.
black.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
It runs 2.3 as well.
Yep.
I would just, if I saw that in person, I would spit on it.
Yeah, but it does have a 12 megapixel camera, and all the PR people kept on doing this annoying game in the booth, where whenever you try to take a picture of it, they're like, "Let's have a race." I'm like, "I don't want to have a race." Like, no, race my camera. What kind of phone do you have?
Were they all British?
Yeah.
Go on, race it. I dare you.
The one I was talking about. The one I was talking about
was at the booth. You would go up to the booth and there'd be like a regular woman there, and then you'd go to get your camera. You go to get your camera. When you came back, Howard Stringer was sitting there leaning on it. Go, yes. What would you like to look at? Are you interested in this phone?
No, you would say, "Let's have a race," because they kept on saying it. So
if I said "wow," that would be my reaction to this device. Anyhow, I shouldn't be doing that.
So they're very proud of the camera.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Well, how is it? How's it look?
It's fine.
Because I will say this.
It's no shutter light.
I will say this.
The
The
thing
that I miss the most about using an iPhone is the iPhone 4S is the camera.
Because it's a good camera.
It's a very good camera. It's a completely beautiful, wonderful camera that you could use for real camera, for real picture taking. And the one on the Galaxy Nexus is like every once in a while I get a shot. And I'm like, this camera's actually not too bad.
Yeah.
And then 99 other shots are terrible.
Yeah.
So I miss it. Not enough to not.
Well, Sony's really pushing it. And the other big story with these phones we should talk about is that they're Sony phones. They're not Sony Ericsson phones.
Yeah, which looks awesome. I don't know what it is. Like, there's something like in my head because
It's 'cause we grew up in the 80s. Golden age of
yeah,
Sony.
in the 80s when Sony was the brand.
Right.
And when I see that Sony logo on something, I'm like, ooh, that's good. I got to get one of those. It's a weird psychology thing that is somehow still effective. It truly is an aspirational brand.
Yeah.
I mean, for people who were
Well, you know what's weird is
raised in the 80s.
they said it on
Not
stage.
for new people. New people
they said,
don't care
you know,
about
we bought out Ericsson,
youngsters.
and we're Sony now. The phones we branded Sony. This is the prelude to a huge push into North America for us.
Yeah.
So they actually
I guess
felt,
them and Nokia have been having a lot of meals together.
well, Nokia didn't like buy out the other half of its company.
It's because they weren't really into North America before. They were just like.
Well, they were during like the feature phone era.
Like, we don't need it. We don't need North America.
Yeah.
No, it's just like you know,
but everyone else.
I've seen like because we heard this again. You know, like Nokia said 100,000 times, like, yeah, we're totally really pushing into America now. You know, like this. Now we're really going to get our smartphones into America. Like for 5 or 6 years, they've been saying that. Right?
No, but it's clear that they recognize that they have failed at trying to do it.
Yeah, and they continue to recognize, and that's an important
No,
step.
but they
and
have
I
a
guess
whole.
Sony has
but
that now.
in Nokia's defense, well, and I guess it's the same thing. But they have a whole new platform, right?
Right.
But Sony's been selling phones here for the last couple of years, Android phones.
Right.
I mean, when did the first Xperia come out that was running Android?
Oh, 2 years ago.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And what, the X10?
Yeah.
No. Is that what it
It
was?
was X10.
It probably wasn't 2 years ago. If
feels
Chris
like-
Ziegler were here, he could tell us.
If only.
If only we could get a hold of him. I'm not. Chris!
Ziegler. They're saying
Ziegler.
2009 in chat.
2009.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's
enough.
longer than 2 years ago.
Those guys are basically like Chris Ziegler.
Chris, you've been replaced by Ustream chat.
Yeah, we're now crowdsourcing all of your encyclopedic knowledge of telephones. It's gonna be like a dig. It's gonna be like a dig.
When did the Xperia X10 come out?
The what?
Xperia X10.
When did they come out?
Ooh, too slow.
December of 2000 and something.
Oh, that's helpful.
oh.
Get out. Get out of the trailer.
Owned by
Just keep
Ustream.
walking.
I'm tired.
Just keep walking until you get to
tired.
McCarran International. Take a plane out of the country.
I'm done with this.
Chris
Now,
Ziegler,
they're
everybody.
saying end of 2010.
Don't listen to those
So
people.
they don't know what they're talking about.
You can't crowdsource this kind of information just using Ustream.
Clear.
You have to create an entire site that's kind of like a dig.
Oh, now they're saying
for-
2012.
You have to create a dig
Yesterday.
for Xperia information.
Yeah.
The Xperia.
Digxperia.
Yeah.
So, God, we're at like 2 items on set.
Yeah.
Let's power through these.
Well, so let's talk about some more of these phones. I think.
You want to talk
probably-
about? You want to do big bucket
I
topics?
think we should do buckets.
Okay, so we had a debate. I'm going to talk to some camera here. There was a debate between Paul and Eli about whether we should do trends.
No, I wouldn't qualify as
products.
a debate.
No.
No, it wasn't a debate. They didn't really discuss it, and that's why we're sitting here talking
Yeah.
about it right now.
No, I think we should do buckets.
Yeah.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
think we agreed.
Go ahead.
So yeah.
No.
No, well, Nokia N900, kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big version of the N800, and it has LTE. Is it kind of a big deal? I mean, it's a big deal in the sense that they already released what is essentially functionally the same phone here in America.
And they're releasing the Lumia 800 unlocked, right?
I mean, I don't want to poo-poo what Microsoft's doing because I like it.
Right.
But it's also like you've seen one, you've seen them all.
It was so weird because like Ballmer was like, yeah, we're we've got the N800. Oh, we're bringing the 710 to T-Mobile, the first Windows phone. This is,
You know what I find out?
And then he was like, oh, and we're selling the N800 unlocked in our stores, and there's more and more of those stores. And then like, oh, and the N900 is
the first real win. Here's what I think is so offensive. Elop kept saying, "This is the first real Windows phone." He said it a number of times. First real Windows phone. I feel like that's like basically Sarah Palin. It's like talking about the real America.
Well, you know, the
like
funny
it's
thing-
not a thing that exists. Like it's not real. It isn't the first real Windows phone because they are all exactly
And
functionally
earlier
the same.
today, HTC announced the Titan 2 with LTE.
No, like along with them, right?
Right.
And like and then Ballmer had to go and talk about the Titan. But he was also on stage with Elop when Elop was like, "This is the first real Windows phone." The other thing they do that I think is odd, and by the way, I think it's going to be a nice device, and I think the Lumia 800 is a really nice looking device, and the N9, which we have here, which I've been playing around with, is the same device essentially. I also think is really cool, but. The polycarbonate stuff and the design is really, really tight. Like I think
want all of my phones.
I think they're right on with that stuff, but they keep doing this thing where they're talking about like how they're it's got Nokia stuff, Nokia DNA, like, but it doesn't really. It has Nokia Drive, which is an app, and then that's it. It doesn't. It's not like it has some other Nokia, like it uses the Nokia font or it has a special. Does it have a special Nokia color?
It trades on the decades of Nokia experience in the mobile.
Yeah, but it doesn't. They put Windows
literally
Phone
threw
on
out
a
the software that they made.
I mean,
after those decades.
they quite literally threw out Nokia
Without
software.
Nokia's decades of experience with Symbian, they would not have failed hard enough to have to use Windows Phone.
And then they literally put Windows Phone on the N9, which is a phone they already had made.
Yeah.
They already made that phone as a different kind of
It's
phone.
almost less the first Windows.
I'm not. Here's what I'll say though, but just to get, I know that. By the way, and I think that
Makes nothing sense.
I've noticed a sentiment amongst some commenters that they think that we're like anti, that we're not going to give Microsoft a fair shake or whatever. But honestly, if you sat through tonight's presentation, you might not give Microsoft a fair shake either, because it was excruciating.
Yeah.
But I like Windows Phone. I think it's really strong. There are things that bug the hell out of me about it, like the way that it still doesn't feel like the multitasking is really fluid, and notifications. You always feel like you're reloading apps. Still, I feel like they haven't got the freeze drying right yet. There's other little things I could talk about, but I think the effort is very strong.
Yeah, I mean they're pushing it really hard.
And I think that it's a beautiful interface, and they're trying to do some new things.
I think it's
I think taken to their logical conclusion, they're going to be amazing.
I think it's really telling that there are no HTC Android phones here, as far as I can tell.
Well, not yet.
But it's no, I think I don't think there's going to be any.
I mean,
think
is it telling, or are they just waiting for Mobile World Congress, where they're going to release probably 100 different Android phones?
Maybe, but HTC does carrier-specific phones.
Yeah, but I think they put a lot of focus on Mobile World Congress. I just want to take a quick break.
Oh God.
It is
it's super hot.
outrageously hot in here.
Yeah.
Is there anything that can be done about that?
We can open a window.
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a start. You think? It is probably, 500 degrees in this room.
No.
Oh man, is that gonna upset? Is that gonna be a problem with our audio? It's good. Okay, good.
It's fun.
Great. So
Thank you, Chad.
Back on track.
No, I mean maybe we'll see some stuff tomorrow. But if you think about it, Samsung put out a bunch of phones today. Sony.
So since we're on the phone trend, what are the other devices? We talked about the Sonys.
Galaxy Note for AT&T.
Well, we didn't really talk about the Sonys.
We
touched
on
it. Okay,
Sonys.
yeah, go ahead. Galaxy Note. Galaxy Note,
Skyrocket.
which we've seen, the Skyrocket.
By the way, can I say something? I went to this live blog Samsung today too. They introduced the Galaxy Note, and they actually said this is the first pen that really replicates, quote, the tactile artistry of pen and paper.
I'll say
They're
something
like,
about-
are you crazy?
No, this is like
it's
Samsung.
plastic on glass. No matter what you do, it's plastic on
No,
glass.
this is like Samsung. This is like when Samsung, when they introduced the Galaxy Nexus in Hong Kong, and they were like, it's so the curves. It's what would they say? It's like the feathers of a fairy floating through a magical forest. It was like some weird flowery wording that didn't make any sense.
It's like they had a blank spot in their announcement, and they outsourced that paragraph. Say something superlative about this.
They didn't even tell you what it was.
Yeah, they Mechanical Turk did.
It was like a Mad Lib. It was a Mad Lib.
Yeah, no, the tagline for the Galaxy Note on AT&T is "Feel free, it's Galaxy Note," which makes no sense.
Feel free.
Feel free.
That is the tagline for a tampon. Feel free, it's Galaxy Note.
No,
that's like don't be constrained by your monthly visitor.
Wow.
The Galaxy Note.
Oh, dude. You're a monthly visitor?
No, have you never seen tampon commercials?
They don't talk about it like it's the 40s.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
I don't know.
You need to watch more TV.
I don't watch enough.
No, that's it. They say stuff like "feel free." I mean, I don't know.
I will say the font choice is very similar to what I would expect from that type of product.
I mean, I think the Galaxy Note is for women who are having their period. I think that's the point.
That's what we've come to. And it's officially 11 p.m. at CES, day 0.
Oh my God.
Have any?
I think I'm getting some sort of heat. Can you get some sort of traumatic brain damage from too much heat?
Can you talk about tampons too much when your brain gets too hot?
Is it possible that you bring up tampons inexplicably during a conversation about gadgets if you're really hot? All right, go ahead.
Have there been any phones announced with a carrier that are running ice cream sandwich?
No. But all of them are promising. It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, guys. We're
gonna be
working on
great.
the update.
Yeah.
You know, my grandfather had a saying.
You know, I will say the Transformer Prime is getting
You'll never know what it was.
No, I'll never
somewhere
know.
out
Oh,
there.
really? Right now, the Transformer Prime
It's getting an ice cream
is getting
sandwich
ice cream
update,
sandwich.
which is cool. It has
It
it.
has it now?
Wow.
Transformer Prime. You heard it here first.
Get it. Give it to me.
Oh, what's the point? Maybe we can get a little airflow if you're I'm willing to try.
Go in and out of this room a bunch.
My grandfather was saying it was crap. Well, he didn't say crap, but crap in one hand, wish in the other, see which fills up faster.
That's
you know what I'm saying about the ice cream sandwich?
You know, when I think about it really hard, I kind of do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Kind of all goes back to the tampon ads, okay?
I'm very confused about that.
You know what? Don't worry about it.
Okay, take that.
So, but yeah, I mean, because Mobile World Congress is so close, this isn't the huge phone show.
No, last year there were lots of phones at the show. HTC had phones. You know, Verizon did the Droid 4.
Oh, yeah.
Day. Like, I mean, there have been phones at the show. The Motorola Razr Max
Is there a
happened
release?
today.
Where's the?
There are phones all over the
Oh, yeah.
place. And HTC put out one. It's Windows Phone. It's not Android. I think it's
Take
notable
that
in its
away
way.
Here it is, everybody. It's what you've been waiting for. Can we get that? Can we get a shot of that? Where am I?
Now this isn't low budget?
Well,
You got fingerprints everywhere.
Creighton should have cleaned it off. Look at this. Look at these fonts. It's
I have no idea
the
what you're
camera's
saying.
over there. You
That's
kind of
fine.
get a.
What about that camera?
No,
Well, he's
look
not
at
moving
Creighton.
that camera.
Oh. Can you believe it?
Straight up a little more.
Can you believe this is happening? Let's take a look at the clock. Look at that.
many
And let's
clock
go back
witches is
here. Now let's open the browser. Where's the browser? Just open the browser like so.
So on that, does
Look
it
at the
still
Verge.
look and feel honeycombish?
Just gonna go to this Yoda.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't change the tab.
Hands-on of a
Right.
Yoda.
You know, that was the other thing about the Galaxy Note stuff was,
Scrolling.
you know, Samsung did the 7.7, the Galaxy Tab 7.7 on Verizon today as well, and they were like, you don't have to, you don't have to pick. You can
this
pick
is
the Galaxy
nice.
7.7 or the Galaxy Note, and one's 5 inches and
What
one's
is happening?
7.7,
Right,
and
there
they're
we go.
basally the same size.
They're not basically the same size.
Oh,
Like
it's
side
taking
by
forever
side,
to
they are
load.
so
you
close.
can put a note in your pocket. You can't.
I
put
hope you're not using
have to
any
have
of this footage
7.7
right now.
Giant pockets.
Okay, there we go.
I could put a note in my.
Zoom
pocket.
right in on Yoda.
I got pretty big pockets.
I don't
Zoom in
know.
on him. I don't know what's going on with this.
I've been
Some weird.
experimenting with baggier pants. This is kind of my new thing. I think
How's this going over here?
we
Josh?
went too far.
How's this
with tight
demo?
jeans.
What's happening? He just pointed his back at us. This is terrible.
I don't know what's going on with this here. Anyhow,
It's great. That's great.
it's great. It's great. There you go. It's got ice cream sandwich. It's amazing. All right, what else? Is that it for the phones?
I mean, that's most of the phones,
Okay.
unless you want to talk about the Motorola stuff.
Yeah, the Razr
the Droid
Max, the Droid
Razr 4.
The Droid
Droid
Razr
Razr 4. The Droid.
At the rate we're going.
Droid 4.
Razr Droid.
The Razr Max.
I mean,
sorry,
I have to
I'm sorry, I got confused. The Razr Max,
2 X's.
and the 2 X's, and the Droid 4.
Yeah.
How could I possibly confuse those? Because Motorola's never named stuff similar to other stuff.
I mean, I have to say those are the worst names. And if you're a
Yeah.
Razr customer, you have to be.
do you remember the comic book The Max? Do
The
it.
comic book,
Yeah.
The Max.
Yeah.
Isn't that where they went and saved by the
M-A-X-X.
bell? Or is that just Max's?
I'll bet you $100 somebody right now is in our Ustream talking about how much they love it.
Oh my God.
It's like this big purple.
It's like a purple dude.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's what I thought of when I saw the name.
All right, let's talk about. Do you want to talk computers? Or do you want to talk smart TVs?
Let's talk about, oh God, smart TVs. Let's talk about Ultrabooks. This has been, I think we can agree on one thing.
Yes.
Ultrabooks, Ultrabooks, Ultrabooks.
Ultrabooks.
Ultrabooks,
was it?
Ultrabooks,
What was it?
Ultrabooks.
Intel said they had like
70.
75.
75
Yeah.
in the pipeline.
And they actually showed off. Did you see this concept? We should run this video.
The Nikiski?
Is that what it's called? I
Yeah,
can't
the
pronounce-
Nikiski.
Nikiski. Chad, can we run the Nikiski video?
It is really cool.
Don't push the, let's not test the limits here.
I know. You said he was. Show it
Here,
to
let
Creighton.
me, I got this down. I know what we're doing. Me and Creighton have a plan.
I know how to hold a thing.
Just be quiet. If this even runs, let's
You should
see.
rotate. Rotate. Okay, I'm just commanding you. Rotate again.
That's whatever you say.
Whatever you say, Eli.
Spit on the screen.
Enhance.
Engage.
Is this
Are you
working?
in
Do
there?
you see what's happening here?
This is this is what is this? Flip over? What is
So
this?
it's got like a full width. The whole palm rest is a see-through touchpad, and then when you close up your computer, you can see through the back.
Yeah.
But this is a concept car.
It is, but the weird thing is that Intel's running around saying this thing on top that looks exactly like Windows 8, that looks like Metro, is not Windows 8, it's not Metro, this is Windows 7, and we came up with this idea a year ago. We invented Metro.
They invented Metro.
A year ago. It works different, it's not Microsoft.
It's weird.
Even though it looks like it would be perfect for Windows 8.
They do claim they're like working with a manufacturer on this. They just want to
Yeah, it's going to be like
right?
Acer or Asus, just like with the Iconia thing with the two screens.
Oh, so this is like Intel's idea, and then they're trying to get somebody.
They're trying to get somebody to build it. It always
Look
sucks.
at that. Isn't that what you always wanted to do with your laptop? Is
I
close
want
it
one of these.
and have that little screen full of stuff.
You know
this
what?
makes zero
You know
sense.
what?
You know
I
what?
don't
Sorry,
have-
this is the
I don't
Intel
have
long
widgets in my
phone.
life, and I
This is the long Intel phone. The black. What is it called? The Blackthorn or the
Blackthorn?
The super
Super
tramp.
Thorn.
The super tramp. What was it called? What was the long phone called?
Well, let's get Chris in
That was the Silverthorn. No.
No, those are all processors. You're just
No, it was in that era.
Ivy Thorn.
The Ivy, the
Sandy
Silver
Thorn?
Bridge,
Yeah.
the Silver Bridge. What was the phone, the prototype called? If they didn't have a name for the prototype, it was to show off those processors.
Yeah.
Which was was it the Silverthorn? Is that even a real thing?
No, Silverthorne was an Atom. This was like 3 years ago. If you're trying to ask me to remember until Atom came
Anyhow, all
in
I'm
from
saying is this is
2008.
a slightly different version of that, which is a thing that will never come to market.
No, I'm convinced. Last year they had the two-screen thing, and they
Yeah.
got, I think it was Acer to build it.
We're not Toshiba, right?
No, it was Acer. Acer or Asus built it. I can't remember.
Somebody
which
built it and it was horrible.
The huge laptop.
And nobody
with the-
I think it was
bought
Acer.
All two
Yeah.
Yeah,
screens. I thought
they
that was
built it.
Toshiba.
It was bad.
Yeah.
They didn't sell any, and they stopped making them. No, that's what happened, as
Yeah.
far as I know. All right. So what else in Ultrabooks?
Toshiba.
Toshiba.
Bam. Sorry.
Toshiba
You
had
know what? I'm
released-
not right a lot. You know,
Should-
I don't remember things. very
Toshiba
often.
released some Ultrabooks.
No, Vizio. Vizio released some Ultrabooks.
Well, why'd you say Toshiba?
No, we were talking about the dual screen thing. I said Toshiba.
Oh God, I completely had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Vizio.
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 So I saw the Vizio stuff today. Really, they're beautiful machines. They're like made of aluminum. They're really proud of I think Microsoft helped them a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really
Oh,
stock
really?
Windows. Yeah. I think Microsoft is excited to
It is still hot as hell in here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Just
So
open
like
that door.
Microsoft helped them a lot. So that means they're enemies with Intel, so they won't use the Ultrabook word.
Now open the door out there.
And then walk away.
Yeah.
Walk out the door.
Yeah.
Did you open the door?
No.
You should. Go ahead.
Nice.
Microsoft helped them a lot with it.
This is seriously sexy.
Let me show it to you. So
The
Microsoft.
Vizio?
Yeah, it's really nice looking.
It looks really good.
It has this insane keyboard, which I don't understand. You want to do your trick? This keyboard. I tried to use it. So what's weird about
Oh,
it.
it's one of these keyboards. Yeah, these are terrible.
No, but the keys are huge. You don't kind of know where the edges are. And they promised me. I talked to their CTO, and he was like, "We're doing all kinds of testing on it. We want users to like it." But their big thing is that the PC is still a central part of home entertainment. And they're they're a massive TV manufacturer. So they're like, in order to grow, we have to do PCs just to control the end to end.
I gotta say, we've been talking about this a little bit. Every time there's a new smart TV that comes out, that you can update your Facebook from. It's
Yeah.
you know how I do that? I have a computer on my lap.
And actually,
while
so
I
the
watch
laptops,
TV.
they know that people use them on the couch, and they want to turn them off. So they have a dedicated button that just shuts
I
off
don't
the
know.
screen.
I mean, I know that
kinda cool.
I know that I'm gonna get hell for saying this, but it just looks kind of like a Mac.
It does look like a little
I
bit
mean,
like
it
that.
just looks like a unibody Air.
Right. I mean, it's a little bit.
It's got a
different.
couple
a
of
lot less than a lot of these Ultrabooks. I gotta say, there's no dip down for the keyboard. The keys look
keyboard's
different.
so insane,
The
though,
speaker
I have
is
to
in a
say.
different spot. The bezel looks different. Bezel looks about the same. I mean, no,
No,
the bezel's different than the
it's-
MacBook Air.
Yeah.
relatively similar.
This,
It is a nice looking piece of kit for.
And I'm sure it'll be cheap. And it's going to have Intel processors. What's really weird about these is that.
oh, and it's got a high-res 13-inch, and a lot of these have the
1600 by
Yeah, the
900.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, this got 1600 by
This
900.
This can be my Ubuntu machine.
Yeah. But so it's really
You and me are
crazy
gonna
is
get them
that Vizio refuses to call
buddy
them
laptops.
Yeah, buddy tops, bud tops,
When you-
bro tops.
And when you put them together, it makes the full Vizio logo.
Yes,
No,
yes.
Weird.
Only weird because you weren't involved in the bro tops. Though you did partially invent the name Bro Tops. Bro Tops are like a new kind of shoe. Go on. You're like desperately trying to make a point.
I'm desperately trying to talk about
What's
news.
your point?
They don't call them Ultrabooks. They're really anti-Ultrabooks.
They're calling them Thin and Lights.
Thin and Lights.
They're like, we want to use the name that nobody cares about and didn't take off.
Well, they're like consumers don't know what an Ultrabook is. I'm like,
Consumers don't know what a Thin and Light is.
You know,
You know what?
Intel's spending like $1 billion trying to teach people what an Ultrabook is.
Ultrabook does sound pretty expensive, and also like Vizio just writes its own script as far as it just decides what it wants to put in Walmart and the price it thinks it can sell them at,
Right.
and then it sells that.
And I said,
Like,
what did I say
insanely
today
well.
about Vizio at Walmart?
What?
That Vizio at Walmart is like Sony was at every retailer in the 80s.
Yeah,
At
you didn't say that to me.
No, I did. You weren't listening.
Yeah.
But like Vizio Walmart is like the
Paul saw
high end.
Robot. He wasn't
Vizio
paying attention.
Walmart is now like the high end brand.
I think
like,
Sony at Walmart's still a high-end brand.
do they actually sell Sony at Walmart?
They do.
Oh really?
But it's probably a crappy Sony.
Yeah, it's not.
See, that's the thing is like
It's not a Bravia.
No, if you go to Walmart, like Walmart pretty much has a ceiling on the price of something it would sell. You
I mean,
know?
they
And
sell Zenith,
so
right?
you can
They sell
get-
Westinghouse TV.
So you
No,
can get
that's
like
not it.
low-end versions of the high-end brand.
I can buy an audio
or you
box
can get the
HDTV there.
you can get the super nice Vizio. So you could go to Walmart and get like a horrible HP laptop, or for the same price you get this super sexy
Right,
Vizio.
and so here's the thing about the Vizio, because they're really proud of like how closely they work with Microsoft and
What's
Intel.
the price?
They're not saying yet, but they say
That's the thing
the
that's gonna
Windows
really
build,
make-
like,
but the Windows
probably
build
cheaper.
is really stripped down. They're saying they didn't add a bunch of junk to it.
No
It's like-
crapware?
It's basically a clean Windows
So it's
build.
going to be expensive.
I don't know, but
Maybe
they're saying,
Vizio can
but they're
afford
Vizio.
but their tablet is super cheap.
Their tablet's $299, and they claim to me, and I'm shaky on this. They claim to me that people are buying the Kindle Fire. They're not liking it. They're giving it back. They're seeing the Vizio tablet.
That's a
full Android
lie.
market
That's a
at $299.
lie. That's a
They're buying-
lie. I mean, I
and
know
they-
Great story.
No offense to Vizio, but that's a lie. They're not going to go return the Fire and go, I'm going to get a Vizio tablet instead. They're going to
They
return the
sold
Fire
out.
and go, I'll wait 2 or 3 months and save my pennies.
and buy an
go
iPad.
get an iPad.
Yeah. They say they're sold out.
I'll
They're
never get
very
mine.
high on their tablet stuff.
Well,
today.
I mean, maybe they only made 100.
But you know, the other thing they said to me, that's true.
And they only sell
That's
them at
basically
one-
what I said.
They
to
only
them.
sell them at one store.
Walmart, though, which is a big store
Yeah,
to sell.
no,
at.
but like one Walmart. But a really big Walmart.
yeah,
Like a super Walmart.
it covers all of Montana.
What are they called?
Super Walmart.
Super Walmart. Yeah.
Now, if you sold one tablet per Walmart, you'd have a pretty good Android tablet.
You'd sell. You would. That would be.
You would, because you sold 5,000.
That would be
tablets.
800,000.
And Samsung would be like, "How'd you do that?"
Go on. Of all of our podcasts,
Just continue talking.
this is the most directionless. All right,
Even though we have the most direction.
I know we have so much direction. All right.
You know, they said to me, we saw the Vizio phone last year, and I was
Yeah.
like, what happened to your phone?
Yeah, what happened to the phone?
And they're like, we moved all the engineers off it to do Ultrabooks, so we think Ultrabooks are more important. Which I think is like,
That sounds like a lie.
I think it's just too
I've now
hard to do
accused
a phone.
Vizio of lying twice, by the way. Like just flat out saying they're not.
Well,
telling
I don't
the
think it's a
truth.
lie. I think it's much easier to make a Windows laptop and sell it in Walmart than make a phone and have to sell it through Verizon.
The one thing I'll say about CES, and even after a few days here, even before the show officially starts, you do get pretty numb to the things that people tell you.
Yeah, they're not
and you
sure.
do get pretty. There's a lot of incredulity, if you will, about the things people tell you.
No, I think there's a certain amount of truth to what they're saying. I think it's kind of crazy.
Not the Kindle thing.
No, the Kindle thing
That's a
I do
blatant-
not believe at all. But
That's a blatant lie.
But I think there's a certain amount of truth to it's hard to make a phone. And if you're a company like Vizio,
No, that's why
it's
HP
really
said.
hard to
That's
make a
why
phone.
Meg Whitman was like, "We don't want to. We're not going
But
to make
it
phones. It's
says
really hard."
something
She said it's really hard to make a phone.
But it does
You
say
know why,
something
right?
about
Carriers.
It's carriers. A company like Vizio, which owns the TV market, they were not able to get a foot in the door with any of the carriers.
And nobody's gonna tell them no on TVs.
And nobody's gonna tell them no. They're like, screw it, we'll make Ultrabooks. So they
Sam
just went and
Walton
did it.
might. The guy who started Walmart.
Yeah. But a company like Vizio should
I know
be
your
able
history.
to-
I've heard of the Waltons.
You need to know your history.
I know all about
They also have some desktop PCs, which is like whatever.
Yeah, I am. Those are, but the design is also nice on those.
They are.
But it's also very highly derivative.
One,
of
one
Mac.
other Ultrabook. I'm sorry, Joanna. I don't really care about these Samsungs very much.
Oh, which one?
Samsungs or the
I mean, she really likes them. The new Series 9, or no, the Series 5 Ultrabooks from Samsung. But
Yeah.
This Spectre looks pretty awesome.
The Spectre looks okay. It looks a little bit over-designed to me, like a lot of HP stuff. Like there's too much
a lot of
going
ridges
on.
and bumps.
Yeah, there's
I like the lid though, even though the lid's made of glass. It's terrifying.
It's got the Beats knob for me.
Yeah. Well,
and
why?
Gorilla Glass. I like having a physical knob.
The
that I can
tactility of the
actually,
knob.
Like,
the Beats knob.
You know, it'd be awesome if that Beats knob was a scroll wheel.
Yeah.
That would be not useful.
Wasn't there a Sony laptop that had a little scroll wheel, like a jog dial?
Yeah.
Because Sony was big on the jog dial.
Thinking of a BlackBerry.
With the Clio.
This was this is like the peak of Sony.
Yeah.
Like right when they thought they could do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
They're like jog dials.
Hey, you remember the
Everything.
blackjack?
Yeah.
Everything gets a jog dial.
And it's like, pew. It's like that Sony's at the cliff. Man.
Jog dial killed Sony.
Feature
How the
idea.
jog dial killed
Do you remember the blackjack?
Yeah.
Had a wheel.
Oh man, that was great.
Laura had a blackjack and she loved it. She was like really into the wheel functionality. It's actually a good idea on a
Those were
phone.
the days.
You know, it's actually a really good idea to be able to
Yeah.
scroll.
Yeah.
They should
Well,
put
it's going to
strips.
still have a D-pad.
They should put strips on the side of the phone so you can scroll things.
Yeah.
What you had that idea?
No, well,
You made that face like that's what I've been saying.
like 100 years ago, I went to a Synaptics demo where it was a phone. It had the back touchpad. Now on the Vita, I said it would be great for gaming. Now on the Vita, just saying.
Yeah.
Prophet
And
Paul Miller.
It had capacitive strips on the sides.
But that doesn't appear anywhere.
No.
So it looks like you prophesized it wasn't that great.
Well, I didn't say that.
Jog
should
dial.
appear,
Well, I'm
but
saying it
just
now.
was there.
Synaptics, I hope you're listening. So that
Synaptics.
finally, something to do with those side things.
Jog dials in all your trackpads from now
No,
on.
touch
That's
jog.
touch.
Touch jog. That's what it should be called.
Touch jog?
Touch
Jog,
jog.
jog
Cable
touch.
case, of course.
Jog touch.
Come on,
Jog
man.
touch is good too.
Jog touch is
Great work. Really nicely done.
Oh,
Your mic, get back
Mike.
here. Go, print that. We can go right now. We could cut a deal with Synaptics. No, that's the thing about CES that you don't understand. We could cut a deal with Synaptics.
It's true.
Right now.
Get some
we could go to an
VC.
OEM.
Yeah.
We could say we want to put this
Right,
into a
right.
phone.
Yeah.
We
Open
could
up a
cut it.
booth.
We cut a deal with an OEM.
Open a booth.
We could go get a customized skin, an Android skin from somebody doing a custom distro.
Yeah.
That's just like a reference design.
Yeah.
And by the end of the show, those could be getting distributed
All over.
through a chain of small retails.
Spring availability.
Available in the coming year.
Yeah.
Q3 2012.
Yeah.
We're hoping for back to school.
Yeah, that's
the optimistic chip on it.
We'll be in channel. We'll be in channel by the holidays with that product. What are we going to call it? So it's got Jog Touch. That's one feature.
Yeah.
Runs Android.
Right.
I'd like it to run Android 4.0. Do you think we can make that happen? All the tablets are running Android 4.0.
Yeah, but if you look at, if you're trying to go for being a major, you gotta go for 2.3.
2.3.4.
Whatever.
Yeah, no,
2.3.4.
But we're working with Google on
With a scan.
4.0.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna work with Google on 4.0.
Google is on tap.
Right.
Yeah.
By
Do you
Q4,
think it could
we'll
inter-
have a plan in place.
Could it integrate with
An announcement.
somebody's smart TVs?
Oh no, it absolutely has to.
No, of course.
Without
It
question.
integrates with everybody's smart TVs. It's got
We're
apps.
We're
it's-
unbiased. We're
no,
willing to play with
it should
everybody.
be called Neutral Tech. Should be our company.
You know, that's the word Ubuntu uses.
Neutral tech?
No, they say their Ubuntu TV is the neutral player.
Yeah.
There's Apple and
Oh,
Google.
so it'll be an
and is
Ubuntu
neutral.
phone.
So
How does having a product
with Ubuntu
Well,
TV?
I integrate with Ubuntu
But
TV.
that's it.
thus relegating
Neutral
ourselves
tech,
to
it has a
niche status
total
forever?
obscurity.
Exclusive Jog Touch technology.
Right.
No, we have to tell a grander
You
lie
want
than
to
Ubuntu.
slide out QWERTY? Or are you saving that for your other company?
I feel like a slide-out cord is going to be more complicated to produce.
You guys are leading me, by the
I'm-
way. You're leading me into the smart TV remote
I'm fairly
conversation.
sure that
And
that doing a slab will be a lot
If I
easier
can
and
take
cheaper.
this mess and crystallize it into the news, then I will be a king.
What kind of display are we putting on the
podcasting.
Jog Touch device?
AMOLED?
King.
Super AMOLED.
Nice.
Can we do Super AMOLED?
Will be a king.
Yeah, I think you could source it, right?
What is
You know what? No,
what's
only
what's
Samsung
that really
is
weird? What's
Only
Nokia
Samsung
using?
uses
What
that
kind of
brand.
displays is
Are you
Nokia
getting
using?
kind of the reverberation?
No, it's something.
That
something
I-
OLED.
It's all. What do they call? What does Nokia call their display? Nokia. What do they call their display? Like True Black.
Oh, clear black.
Clear Black.
Clear black.
Is that their
What if we
proprietary?
do Sure Black.
Sure Black. Sure Black display. A super multi-touch Sure Black display.
Yeah.
Super multi-touch.
Yeah.
Six
Yeah,
fingers.
probably.
Six
I think you should
fingers.
just go
six-
super touch.
Super touch.
Sure Black.
Sure Black display.
Sure black, super touch. By the way,
Seven-
that should be like our character. that walks
720p
around.
plus.
Yeah. What's the camera?
Oh, the cameras
No, the camera has to be like 5 megapixels.
No. It is 5 megapixels, but it's incredibly wide angle. It's very wide angle. It makes the wide angle camera on the Lumia 900 look like a regular angle.
Could you screw out the lens and maybe swap lens?
Actually,
No,
what would be
it's-
cool
it's
is
too much.
it would be cool is if you could maybe push and get the lens to stick out a little bit, get a little more depth of field on it. Get a little, huh? No, okay. I don't want it to be a joke phone.
Yeah, you're right.
This is serious.
Yeah, the sure.
Everything we've talked about so far is totally serious. That's one toke over the line. All right, so what's the retailing for?
$199 on contract.
Of course.
No, we can't announce pricing. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Price.
Let's
We'll
just say
determine pricing later on the year.
It'll be priced competitively.
Yeah.
TBA.
No. Priced competitively.
Yeah. No, that's that's Vizio's line actually.
We're well aware of the current market
We're
forces.
aware of the market and we want to compete.
Yeah.
But we only say that answer in response to will it be cheaper than the iPhone, because that's the only time anybody says that. They still will be priced competitively.
We want to be attractive to more markets than just the premium.
Yeah.
What material is it made out of? What color? Is it metal?
It's
Materials
a
and colors are
hybrid
different
of
things.
aluminum and polycarbonate. Can that be done?
Alumicarbonate.
Alumicarbonate.
Aluminum
Yeah. No, it'll have the sides will be not stainless, aluminum.
Okay.
With a
Well, you got to be
PVC.
jog touch. You got to be jog touch compliant.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah.
I know. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
We should get back on the news. Though I have no doubt that this is more entertaining than what we're going to talk about next.
Smart TV.
Because it's going to be smart TVs.
Go ahead, smart TVs.
Smart TVs are my burden to carry. And I will learn about them all. Smart TVs.
Vizio.
Vizio had one. They're doing
Samsung,
Google TV.
Sony.
Vizio
That was
is
the most interesting smart TV we saw so far.
the LG, the Lenovo.
Lenovo.
Lenovo, who doesn't make TVs until today.
It's a year branching out.
It's a 40-inch? No.
55.
50? No, is it?
It's 55.
55-inch TV
running full honeycomb.
running,
No,
ice
it's
cream
running
sandwich.
Ice cream
Sorry,
sandwich.
running
They
ice cream
skimmed
sandwich.
the hell out of it.
But
Sure.
it also has Android Market.
Yeah.
And will run Android apps.
Yeah.
I mean, they all will.
This again.
No,
it's a
no,
Google
but-
TV. You could do
They're
this
doing
on a
this on
TV,
Google TV,
but
though.
carriers aren't going to let you do this.
Right.
Like Lenovo can take the time to completely skin ice cream sandwich and put it on a TV.
Yeah.
But no carrier can ship a ice cream sandwich phone yet.
You know what I think is interesting about Lenovo?
Outside of Brighton,
and ultimately, the thing that is interesting about Vizio, too, is that they're all trying to be these complete players now.
Yeah.
So Lenovo knows they have to have a TV to complete the story
Ecosystem.
of their product. Yeah, they're trying to make this ecosystem. Vizio knows it has to have a computer in the mix.
Yeah.
Because people watch things on computers.
Right.
They know they have to have a tablet. They put out, actually, Vizio put out a new tablet today, too.
Do we really think that people are Vizio buyers are going to go like, I'm going to get the Vizio computer now?
I think people who buy Vizio TV and they walk into a store.
You
and
just
they're
walk
like-
into Walmart and then you see that thing.
Yeah. Right.
And it's cheap and it looks good.
You
Yeah.
just want to get it.
And you know, Vizio stuff actually looks pretty good. I mean, like the tablet is much better than the tablet I think we saw last year.
I think Vizio is really like a Hyundai. Like they did come into the market with a really pretty horrible reputation, and they were the budget crappy manufacturer, and they're never gonna be like the ultimate premier reviewed thing.
Well, enough time.
or at least not
But
yet.
you know, but they're doing the
they're
most
doing good
work of
stuff
all
for really
the,
cheap.
like they're doing the most ecosystem platform work. So like they, you know, when you have a bunch of Vizio stuff, you can shoot content all over the place.
Right.
Well, using what?
They build a bunch of stuff on top of
Vizio
DLNA.
Share?
It's
like
basically what it is.
DLNA.
Yeah. But they built stuff on top of it, so it's like
Which
all
you
auto
have to do
discovery.
to make DLNA at all usable.
Yeah. They made it usable.
They're probably using. They're probably using.
But Samsung does the same thing with All Share. Like they do
Right.
this thing.
They're probably using Qualcomm's open source ad hoc peer-to-peer sharing.
Did somebody?
It's called AllJoin.
All join.
I'm not kidding. It's real.
Yeah.
All join.
Yeah, we were at Qualcomm. You'll see some stuff. We'll have some great stuff on that tomorrow. We did some video Qualcomm.
Yeah.
But
What happened?
Today,
What happened to
actually.
WiDi? Didn't Intel have an announcement? It had some like really cheap new way for TVs to integrate WiDi.
I didn't hear about that.
yeah, there was some.
Yeah, but like I haven't
We
heard
had.
any,
I mean, we probably. How many posts did we cover today on the
like
I don't know. You know,
well
I don't
over
know.
100. I'm
We
sure.
had so many. You know, we had the new articles counter on our site.
Yeah, it
We
pegged at
we pegged
99.
at 99 and broke it.
I don't think we knew that
we
it
went
would-
too fast.
I mean, it needs to get a plus on it.
Yeah.
99 plus, and it could be better than.
I'd like the real number.
So would I, but you know what?
Yeah.
Crap in one hand, wish in the other, see which fills up faster.
It's gonna be the wishes.
No.
My wishes are weighty.
So, no, we don't need to dive into that.
We don't need to go there.
We can talk about smart TV.
Let's go. So anyhow, so the Lenovo I think is really interesting.
Right.
It's not a Google TV though.
Well, it isn't. The apps are gonna be the Google TV apps. I mean, they're
Are they? Maybe you can just play Dead Space on it.
maybe.
Well, isn't the whole idea that going forward Google TV is like, and Google decided it wanted to unify Android, right?
Yeah.
It has one Android and it looks different on different devices.
Yeah, but Google TV is still on Honeycomb. Like, what?
But they're working on
what
it.
the Lenovo thing is with Ice Cream Sandwich is like, it's not Google TV,
Right.
but it's going to run these Honeycomb apps that were built for television.
It's Lenovo's.
Because running smartphone apps on a TV is like not a good idea.
It's Lenovo's Kindle Fire TV.
It's a very strange.
Do you think Amazon will make a TV?
Of these Google TVs, is there any standout
That'd be
between?
really
Well, so let me keep going because
Okay.
I think what's interesting about all of this is that Sony did Google TVs last year, these integrated Google TVs.
Right.
They totally backed off. They're not doing them anymore. They're building little boxes, like streamer boxes
Yeah.
on Google TV.
Yeah.
Right.
Samsung today announced their crazy smart TV that isn't Google, running their own platform. And one of the pieces they announced was you can upgrade the processor of this TV. So they showed a
is
video
great.
where it said the words dual core, and then like there was an animation, then it said quad core.
But that's just
bizarre.
marketing.
No,
BS.
there's a slot in the TV, and you can buy a kit.
It's like
you-
Core 2, Core 3 and 4.
And they were
you
totally
overclock your
vague about
TV?
this. No, they were absolutely 100% vague about
TV
this.
overclockers.
They're like, there's a slot, you can
.com.
plug it in, and you upgrade the TV.
Somebody register that.
And I was like, well, you showed a video where you went from dual core to quad core, and they're like, we'll have more information later. I'm like, but you definitely showed a video where you went from dual core to
Just
quad core.
trolling you.
I don't understand. I just don't understand why.
Because they think that people don't want to buy a new TV every
Well,
year.
that is true.
And so
That's
this
why
is-
it's all going to go to
know,
your subsidy
and
model. that
There's
you
an
keep talking
aspect of
about.
that because every time Toshiba normally refreshes its TVs, mostly at IFA,
Yeah.
and every time it's like because Toshiba has a similar cell, like the cell
Yeah.
technology that Sony used for the PS3. Like they're always iterating that and adding more
Right,
cells,
right.
and then they can do some fancy new thing. So
Right.
it kind of makes sense.
I mean, it's
But-
like a
but-
really good solution for
But are we?
that.
Is the
just
problem?
not
Is
gonna
the problem
work
that
and
we're
it's-
working off
it's not
of?
gonna work that way.
But is the problem that we're working off of a model for this stuff that like is no longer makes any sense? Like the 2-year contract, essentially, like I'm just thinking about the 2-year contract with phones. Like clearly that doesn't work because they're innovating at a rate. I mean, if we believe they're innovating,
Right.
they're innovating at a rate way faster than every 2 years.
Right.
And it would seem the TV technology is doing something similar in the sense that they're offering more and more every few months. Like there's some new. I mean, don't you feel like
It sounds to me that Sony's making the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, their
spin your
TV is-
smart stuff out of the TV and sell it separately, hopefully at competitive price.
I think the Roku is probably the best.
It's
Here's
great.
what I'm most excited about here so far. It's that HDMI dongle that's like
The MHL.
Android,
It's not HDMI though. It's MHL, which is a different thing.
but it plugs in. It plugs into an HDMI. It's just a different type of HDMI port, is it not?
No, it's MHL. It's just different.
Oh,
Mobile,
isn't there
high-speed
one?
link,
Isn't there
yeah.
one that's an HDMI?
Are you talking
Like
about
that
the
little
always connecting
dongle
one?
that runs Android. The
Yeah.
dongle that runs
But
Android.
it's powered by the port. Then it's MHL.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a new port called MHL, Mobile High Speed Link.
Well,
And
it's like an it looks like
with
an
power,
HDMI port,
basically,
but
yeah.
it has power.
Yeah.
Let's forget about that stuff for a second. But Roku also has this. It's the same thing.
It's like a stick.
I think that the TV box on a stick idea is brilliant, and I think that is really exciting because then it's like, maybe the display technology is going to be updated, but if all of your processing power is happening there,
Yeah.
that changes everything because it's how much is it going to be?
And it's
I mean, a
more
Roku
than-
box is $79. I'll happily upgrade that every 6 months. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not as expensive as buying a $2,000 TV.
There's also
Or $1,000
There's also
TV.
processing that happens that's not just a UI and like an OS like for interactive and smart TV features. There's also processing that the TV does for actual display. And
Yeah.
that seems like what Samsung was talking about
No,
upgrading.
Samsung is like this whole. I mean, their video about they call it Smart Evolution, right?
They put smart in everything now.
Yeah, no, so that actually this TV they announced is like pretty insane. So it has a camera, it does motion control, it listens to your voice.
LG also is doing motion control.
Yeah, but Samsung is like way. I mean, they're all trying to do it.
Everybody's doing motion control now.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, look. Here's what's happening, and I was actually talking to Chris Grant, who is, he's squatting
wandering around here somewhere.
It's like this entire industry is crazy about what Apple's going to do, and they're throwing all these ideas at the wall about how TV should work, like what the model should be, and it's actually kind of awesome. Like I saw the smart TVs today, and there's like 50 different models. Like not two of these companies are doing the same thing in their TV stuff.
Right.
And actually, where I think the most convergence has come is in the remote controls. And there's like this remote control story happening at CES. It's like completely crazy. You want this to go up?
Oh, that slipped down somehow.
Wow.
Whoa. What's happening here? This is like a scene from Alien.
That was really weird.
Is that better?
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So if you look at they're all the same now. So if you look at Sony's remote control.
I've never wanted a beer so bad in my life.
Yeah.
Somebody's out here drinking a Modelo.
Why do we?
It just looks insane.
We went from Tecate to Modelo.
I don't know.
in
We're
2
just
days.
going around the world. Go ahead. Sorry.
We're actually just going around Mexico in a circle.
Well, it's the world in some ways. To some people. Go on.
No, they all look the same. So Sony's remote, Google TV remote is a trackpad on the front, a QWERTY on the back.
Yeah.
Vizio's remote is a trackpad on the front, a QWERTY on the back.
Ubuntu TV, which I know you guys love.
Yeah.
They just use the boxy.
They just use the boxy,
The boxy
QWERTY on the
remote.
back.
Yeah.
And they're all, it's like, there's...
You love Ubuntu.
No,
you love
it
Ubuntu
wasn't that
TV.
good. But QWERTY on the back, definitely.
No, but that's where we're going. It's like they're realizing that they can't build these insane remotes. They have to build something that makes sense.
Right.
But they still have to make it control everything.
Yeah.
And they know they can't just kick it over to the smartphone or kick it to the tablet because I don't think those are good ideas.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. But it's just like
You were just thrown off right there, weren't you? When I agreed.
yeah,
with you.
because I don't know what to do with that. Actually.
You're like,
feel like I should
shall
think of that.
we should go.
When you
We
say
should go.
when you say commonality, like
Well, let's look at here. Let me show you pictures.
I agree on the remote thing. That's definitely true. But
Remotes are played. It's all about motion control.
a ton of these things, whether you're running regular ice cream sandwich, whether you're running Google TV, no matter what, like a ton of these things are running a version of Android.
No. Everything's running Android.
And
everything is running Android.
You know, I've been talking a lot about this, and I'm just seeing it happen more and more. Is that the model is you know, because presumptively, is that the word?
Presumably.
Presumably.
Presumptively is a very
That's-
strange word.
I mean, that.
No, I don't know.
I'm trying to think
I
of
don't
word
know.
presumptively, if that's a word,
Yeah, I
and
don't
how
know
you
how
would
that-
use it.
Presumably, Apple is trying to like forge a great deal with the
Well,
network or something like that.
there is a thing going on
right?
with, yeah.
And
I want
so,
to talk about Apple in a second.
Of course, you know, and I agree. These TV manufacturers are like, oh no, Apple's doing the TV, and they'd be doing, you know, these manufacturers have been doing a lot of smart TV stuff before these rumors for Apple got hot. But it's crazy smart TV land at CES right now. But I think the content I can't talk.
The standards
Distributors
board.
want to do apps. I think each channel wants to have its own app, and it's happening on Xbox. At Microsoft, you know, they announced like the Fox app and the other station app. And there's an ESPN app, and I think that's what the content providers are actually going to want to do. Instead of Comcast being in charge or
Well,
Time
here,
Warner being in
let me show
charge,
you this.
they get to be in charge per channel. Like Fox gets to be.
Well,
in charge.
I
And
mean,
think they
that's-
like that.
that's-
Can I just show these pictures? I mean, like, look. I'll tell you this. Apple's not going to build that, right? And I got the
You
other.
don't tilt it like that.
You good, Creighton? Like, Apple's not building that.
You want it like.
I got
you
it.
want
Dude.
You want to tilt it forward.
I
so they
understand, but I got to
glare.
press the tab. Apple's not going to build that. Like, almost certainly not. This is the Vizio.
Well, they're not going to build a remote with a bunch of buttons on it. We know that.
And they're not going to build that. And this is Sony's.
All-
and all the other ones, they look like this too. I mean, this is the trend. And the back of these things have here, just take this. And the back of these things all have keyboards on them. And it's really like nuts to see. Well, we got to get there. We got to build these remotes that let you use smart TVs effectively. And this is the dominant idea that's emerged: is trackpad on the front, QWERTY on the back.
But I mean, remotes
buttons
aside,
everywhere.
Remotes aside, the most important thing is the content.
I don't think it's remotes aside. Actually, I think this is the big story.
Well, let me finish. If it's not remotes aside, then let me finish my point.
Let me finish my point. Go on.
I think the most important thing is the content that you can actually watch. And a ton of these things are ending up with Android. And I think that provides a really clear path for instead of one specific company like a Netflix or a Google or Apple, forging a really great deal.
I don't know what's happening.
You're just preemptively calming me down.
Yeah, you know, you're like open your mouth, you're like inhaling.
knows, baby.
Maybe he was just
inhaling.
breathing.
No. You know, it's
God. No. Maybe we should be drinking. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm starting to think we made a mistake by going sober.
instead of one company forging this huge, pervasive deal, and then they own the whole, TV or movie distribution market over the internet.
Yeah.
I think the Android becoming a standard on TVs paves a way.
Yeah.
For
A la
channels
carte.
to make apps.
To be a la carte.
A la carte. That's
Right.
all I've been trying to
Right.
say. That's all.
No,
I've been trying to
and
say.
I agree, but the only.
Let me just
that's fine.
let me do remotes for a second because I think this is really important.
Why are we talking about remotes?
Because you
Why are
have
we
to.
talking about remotes?
Because the thing about TV, the thing that sucks about TV right now is the interface. It's not the delivery.
Yeah, but
Wait. I can't watch what I want to watch on TV.
That's
unless
worse.
I pay
Yeah,
Time
I don't
Warner
actually
like
think-
$1 million
Can
a
I
month.
just say I'm going to have to?
No.
Wait.
Look, gluing a trackpad onto a TV doesn't make it easier or
No,
better. Or
I don't
simpler
think
to
that's.
use.
I don't think that's what's going to happen
If
at
you
all.
tell everybody in the world they have to start using a
No,
mouse,
but these remotes are red herring.
I don't. This is what they got.
The real no.
They
but
took
that's-
a year to figure it out. and
But
this
the
is what they
real
came up
thing
with.
is going to be
Everybody in the industry.
no. The real thing is going to be it's on your network. Your phone's on your network.
Right.
Get the app, the remote app, which is like DirecTV. The app is amazing to use to watch TV. When I use it on the iPad, it's awesome. It's way better than any remote I've ever used. It makes sense, like for a human brain.
Right.
And they're going to do that with the TVs, and then each. I mean, presumably, if you wanted, each content provider could have its own interface, but you certainly could do a basic interface for a TV. In fact, you already can do this.
But I'm saying, but this is different than what
IR
Paul's
blasters
saying.
is what I'm saying.
Oh God, they're doing them all over the place.
I know. Why was the remote thing such a big issue? I don't get that at
Yeah,
all.
because if you put Android in the TV,
Yeah.
you have to control the television.
Yeah, with an Android phone.
And Google TV, all this Android stuff is all about moving a cursor around.
Okay,
the
that's
screen.
bad, but he's not talking about that.
They're gonna
But
work
the
on
Lenovo interface isn't like that.
I'm
Well,
saying.
yeah, it is.
I'm saying.
But I mean, it's not Google TV.
But it's still like use this D-pad.
I'm saying
Something's
we're already after the fact. They already put Android in the TV. That's what's in the TVs now.
I mean, that
The
doesn't-
smart TVs are Android TVs.
Well, no, they're not. I mean, now
No,
they
no.
are. Today
Yeah.
they are.
As of today.
Like as of this CES.
As of today,
No,
the smart TVs are running Android.
A lot of them are.
got a couple of them.
Well, some of them are.
And
Sony's
I
aren't.
just
But
for
Sony's
me-
aren't and Samsung's aren't.
Well, that's
What-
pretty. Well, then as so
Samsung
so
makes
goes.
more TVs than anybody.
No, as Sony and Samsung go, so goes the
No,
industry.
but I'm
I
saying,
mean, that's and
what I-
Lenovo's TV.
what I want is
Well, yeah, Lenovo's TV. God knows Lenovo is dominant.
Well, they're there. They're in the market.
Samsung's gonna make one.
Who makes TVs? Vizio.
Yeah.
What do they run?
Vizio. They're
And Vizio.
Neela,
Okay,
Oh,
you're
so
going down.
Vizio. Hold on.
Neela.
Dude.
Okay, so
You got
Vizio,
this- dude, you've got it back.
Vizio, Samsung, and Sony are all doing Android TVs.
No. Samsung and Sony are not doing Android TVs.
Oh, I thought you were saying they were.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying
No.
they were.
But Samsung and Sony
Are you
have,
sure they're
have
not?
Google
Absolutely.
TV.
I think they
things.
are.
Sony, I was just at the Sony press
I think
conference.
they lied to you.
By the way,
I don't know. They started making Android
You,
phones.
you said they have a Google TV box.
they have a box,
Oh, right. That's right. They make Google TVs.
but their box, they're not in the
Right.
television.
But that doesn't matter. It doesn't
You know
matter.
what? There was a few years ago. There was only the G1.
Look, I have a projector.
Okay.
It has no smart features. It
I
just
think
has
what Paul. I think what
HDMI
Paul is
plug.
trying to say is this. Hold on, and I want to hear your remote thing because I'm kind of trying to understand and unpack it.
yeah, I'll tell you.
I think what Paul is saying is that if we were to say, well, Android can have its own skin and do this and that and the other thing, but we can all huddle around the Android market or some kind of market for TVs given a certain set of standards,
Or
like
Android
like
OS.
right. Then you can distribute an app. Like if you're HBO, you can say, you buy my app, pay a fee or do whatever.
Right.
Though I don't think they want to be in that business personally.
HBO
And-
definitely doesn't want to be on
but I'm just saying it could open up avenues to an a la carte service that we haven't
Right.
seen before.
Because I
on
want-
every TV, whether
yes.
it's a Samsung or a Sony or a
Because
Vizio, even though
want-
2 of those 3 don't run Android.
I want.
But next year,
Next year,
they
maybe.
will. You know it.
Well, Samsung is going to do
bet you
something
100
this year at Google TV.
What's going to happen if
just
Apple
let
does the TV? What's going to happen to these guys next year? They're not going to keep running their proprietary stuff.
Here's what I'm saying. This is the remote thing. Apple's solution is not going to be about content distribution, right?
Well, I think
fundamentally
It has to be.
no, because really delivery is like not the problem.
Yeah, delivery is the problem.
I don't know which planet you're on.
Yeah,
the
what
planet where most people
on?
sign up for cable and they're not mad that cable comes
No,
to their
well,
house.
No, I
I'm
think
mad.
people are mad. I think that we're in our space. People are mad, and I think that our space is the bleeding edge. And I see that, and I see that growing.
What
and
people,
I see that growing.
I think what people are mad
where we're
about.
at with TV right now is where the music industry was at, where most people buy CDs, they seem perfectly fine, and these people who steal it are just weirdo pirates.
Right.
And what was actually happening is I want to be able to get music straight to my computer and not have to go to a store for it. And what I want for TV,
you were the fringe, and that
yes.
fringe became the center.
And what I want
think
for
that-
TV is for it not to be routed through this serpentine path through,
I mean, let's just
all
put it
these
this way.
providers.
Punk rock
I
started.
should be able
Oh my
to
God.
Punk rock.
purchase.
We're way out there.
I
No,
should be able to-
no, we're not way out there. Punk rock was the music of Misfits and Outkast and art music. And now
it turned into
and now
dubstep.
it's Sum 41.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's whatever punk is.
And I want this.
That's what's going to happen
I
with
want
TVs.
this perfect
With
on demand.
content.
I want this perfect on demand reality. And I don't think Google TV is it just
On-demand reality is a
let me-
good
just let
marketing
me-
term
just
for
let
our
me
phone.
finish one
Okay.
phrase, and then you can talk about remotes.
I really
I
want to
want
talk
this
about
perfect
remotes.
on-demand a la carte reality.
Yeah.
I don't think Android is wonderful for it, and I'd love to see what Apple does. But I think the app model is the shortest distance between
Fine.
these 2 points.
I
I'm
don't
saying
disagree with
the
that.
app per channel.
I don't disagree with that. I'm
model
saying
is
to you that
what's going to happen.
that all of this racing around to figure out to get to that goal, all this racing around to figure what they're ignoring, ultimately what they're ignoring is interface, and the interface is the key to making that a reality, right? And they're racing around, they're gluing these old models onto televisions, right? With you have a mouse.
Can we just talk about what the remote thing is?
The remotes all have mice. They're mice. They're building mice. They're building.
No, I
they're building
understand.
keyboards and
don't like
mice for the
that. No, I
television.
understand. You don't like that.
Like
It's
ultimately, what
it's
they're
like
doing.
web TV.
It's web TV.
Yeah, okay, but-
right, but the iteration that they're doing with it is still the old model.
And so
right,
what-
and you have DirecTV. Your DirecTV app, what does it do? It shows you a program guide. That's the old model.
Well,
Whether you think it's awesome.
So what are you asking?
Well,
so
I mean,
you're asking
what-
You just
for-
said you just
I
went
think
on a
it's
little
great, but-
soliloquy
yeah,
about
but
how
I don't-
amazing
but
that was.
I don't understand. I don't understand how the old model is information that's
What are you
usable.
asking for? What do you want?
No, but hold on. I don't
I'm
want.
s-
Wait.
Look,
Before
you know what, here's-
before we get to that, can we just talk about the insinuation that somehow it's the old model if you present information in a usable way? That's not an old model. I don't think that what it's showing me is the old model. I think it's showing me something brand new, which is a way to interact with my television that makes sense to me as a human being.
All they've done is they've taken a program guide from there and they put it here.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Okay,
And that
that's
is
cool.
a paradigmatic shift in the way we interact with our television.
It's a little shift.
I'd say paradigmatic.
Instead of moving,
I'd say we're thinking
instead of
outside the
moving
box
the
at this
cursor
point.
up and down here, you're moving it up and down
No, it's
here.
totally different.
No, it's like
And they've only
imagine-
scratched the surface on that. I mean, they've only
Imagine-
scratched.
Okay.
Imagine
Okay,
if
but
there was-
I'm willing to hear this
Let me
out.
hear-
Imagine if there was an RDO app on your Apple TV and you were doing whatever stupid thing with your remote to pull up a song on RDO versus pulling up a song and airstreaming it to your Apple TV.
Or imagine if you had.
So that's different. Right? I mean, that's actually, I think that is meaningfully better.
So this is what you want.
Well, no, but
yeah.
what's the difference?
I'm just trying
There's
to.
there's like a
what he
huge
just
difference
described.
here.
But that's the same thing as what I'm doing with DirecTV.
No, that's what I'm
Except
saying.
the
I
AirPlay,
was
the
defending
AirPlay,
his side.
except
I
the
want you
conversation
to
doesn't
lose
happen over AirPlay.
whatever
It happens
your
over my
opinion
Wi-Fi
on any
network.
of this stuff is.
I mean, it
and
happens
don't
over
know.
I'm being
But I want you to lose. Okay?
Second high five of the night.
We're at an hour and 10.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we were kind of.
No, that's how long we have left.
Oh, we're an hour and 10 minutes. No, we should actually. What else do we have on our list? Because we're kind of in the weeds on this.
Well,
remote
that's
thing.
smart TVs.
Well,
else?
I'm saying
Okay,
here.
say what you want.
Oh my God! Can we talk about that thing that David wore? That helmet that he wore that played.
Yeah,
in
no,
play that video.
I got that. I got
Okay,
that.
good. That's all I really
No,
want.
I'm just saying.
Eli's got 1 minute.
Is Scoble here yet? I'm actually worried that we didn't coordinate with Scoble. He might not be here tonight.
Yeah.
I know I got everybody like.
Can I finish
Neil,
this
I
thought?
got- Go,
on,
Neil.
Go ahead.
These things that we're saying, these smart
One thing
TVs
I'd like
that
to
we're
add.
saying-
So I'm just kidding.
No, these smart TVs that we're seeing, they're like not the answer. They're interesting and they're different.
You know we're not arguing that.
No, but
Just let him finish.
Okay.
Let him finish.
but all this Android stuff, all this, let's put an app on the TV and then you click a button to run the app. They're still not the answer because they're just too hard to use.
Are you going to tell us what the answer is?
I don't know, man. I'm watching
you're
this
saying
industry.
They're coming at the, you're saying they're coming at the problem from the wrong angle.
They're gluing all these old ideas onto let's make it so you can run apps on your television.
Well, okay, let's start here. Just let me ask
You know what this
question.
reminds me of? Actually, more than anything.
What's that?
Is the original iPhone, where all the smartphones were racing in one direction. So let's put a computer in your pocket. Windows Mobile is Windows in your pocket. Symbian is computer is like a computer. They run apps from everywhere, and there's nothing centralized.
Right.
The iPhone came out super limited, no external apps. Right. The problem wasn't delivery of apps. It was just interface. That was the problem they solved.
I mean, that's a really compelling point. And on the 5th anniversary of the announcement of the iPhone, I think it is a good time to think about what that changed and why.
Because what I'm saying here, this is just the next generation
of
Web
question,
TV.
But I think the question you have to identify, and this is what I actually want to know from you. I'd like to hear from both of you, and I think I know what Paul thinks. What's the problem with TV and cable?
I think the problem with TV, more than anything, is user interface.
And so you're saying
I disagree.
If someone could introduce an iPad or iPhone style revolution to interface, the content will follow because I mean obviously
let's be clear.
iPad.
So when you say that, like you're saying, is somebody said you're a Comcast subscriber,
Yep,
or a FiOS subscriber, or Time Warner. Let's say it could be anybody. It could be any of those three. And
I'm not saying it's like perfect.
No, but hold on. But so you've been using your TV in this way. You're going through this kind of rigorous interface that is very utilitarian, right?
Yeah.
And to get content, it's hard. Like Google TV actually has this a little bit right in the sense that they want to try to aggregate, like, sources.
Well, I talk to all these cable guys and like in these meetings and all this stuff, and they all say search and discovery. Hasn't been cracked. And once somebody cracks it, the whole market will change.
No, but TV isn't just about search and discovery. It's also about there's something about television that you don't do that you did on the radio, and that I think you still do with music, which is cruising, where you're like just looking through things to see what tickles your fancy. Because when you go to an art gallery, not every painting is to your liking, but you look at all the
jam stacking.
But you look at all of the paintings, or at least you try to. If you're a sophisticated person like myself,
I ignore all paintings that don't fit my.
No.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nudity.
Yeah.
But I just.
What's the description of that painting? Should I look at
Are there breasts or no? Yes. Okay. But
Josh Sapolsky in Art Gallery, everybody.
That's me. I say, does it look like someone's in pain in this picture?
Yeah.
I want to stare at it. Leave me alone in this part of the gallery. And I do that voice too.
It's very odd voice.
I know. Hey, what's going on? It's the other guy. So I do not know what that means. I don't know. 4 hours of sleep. Get off my back. Get off my case. But so I hear what you're saying, that in the sense that you could upend this whole, like, how do I get to stuff? But what Paul's saying, and what I agree with, is it's not about. Are you saying also in that? Hold on, wait.
What if the TV was social?
Oh God, kill me.
What if there was a social network for what you're watching on TV?
Facebook needs to do a TV.
I got it. Ving, visual ping.
You just turn on your TV and it starts playing whatever is the most popular among your friends.
That's the dream.
Oh, really?
Of like,
you mean like
500 companies.
You mean like Ardio?
Are going to start running to the door of the trailer?
Ardio, where I get to hear what's most popular among my friends.
Dude, imagine Ardio.
The worst music in the world.
Imagine Ardio for TV, and you launch, and it's a grid of like the most popular things among your friends, and then there's search.
Ardio for TV sounds great.
You start typing.
You're killing me.
Watch this.
How many companies are here with that thing?
Watch this
right now.
Hold on.
Watch this.
But finding the stuff isn't the problem. You know what you want to watch.
Maybe.
It's getting the
that's
stuff.
What I'm saying. Watch this. If you could type in a
Can you say watch this one more time?
Well, if you listen. You start typing into a search box, you hit enter, and it pulls up that thing that you wanted to watch, and then you watch
it. That's the Google TV promise, right?
Oh my God.
No, that's like the thing. That's they show
I got
TV.
2 words for you.
Yeah.
Video synergy.
Energy.
What about social video synergy?
No, but what you need is here's what you need. No. Here's what we need. No.
There's a company there.
Here's what we need. I think here's what we need in this. Yeah. So first off, content distributors need to allow their content to be accessible in a way that you can go and buy it if you want to pay for it and watch it instantly, right?
I don't disagree.
Okay, that's number one. Right. So you need to be able to. The content needs to be available, right? The second thing is, there needs to be you need to be able to find that content.
Search
right?
and discovery. I mean,
search and discovery.
Yep.
And then, but the third piece is that needs to be handled. I mean, the problem with your solution is that if it's all a la carte, every experience is a different experience.
No.
There's no consistency.
I agree.
But
That
that's why
sucks,
video synergy.
but I just think it's the most likely
That's why
to happen.
video synergy makes sense, which is a framework is created.
It's just a framework is created.
A framework is created, which allows content creators.
It's a standard like the World Wide Web. It's a standard for the
worldwide video, the WWV.
Yeah, worldwide video.
And it's a standard is created that lets people slot. That there are rules to the content can get in the pipeline, but it fits into it's aggregated.
And the provider, the who's or content creator
standards board.
Content creator gets to set
no.
that
There's
price.
2 ways to go at it. It's like you do it like apps, like you code it like apps in the App Store, or you essentially
You price streams, and the streams fall into the framework.
Yeah, you do streams exactly.
What you've invented is the cable company.
No, but the cable company sucks. I'm trying to.
That's what you've invented.
No, but I'm saying like it doesn't have to come. The cable company comes from one place. Here's what the cable. Here's what the cable company does. They lay the.
People that
they put up. They put up the lines, right?
Yeah.
They put up the lines, and then they say we're gonna create this big service that you can get all these channels, and they strike deals with distributors, and they say we'll distribute your stuff for whatever. I mean, we'll put your stuff on the.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
We'll make some exchange of money between us, the big companies, right? And then we'll decide essentially what our viewers can get. And you have your rules, we have our rules, and at the end of the day, the person who's watching gets what they get.
Sure.
Because we own the shit,
yes.
basically. So what I'm saying, and I think what Paul's saying, and I think what you're saying ultimately, is that what we want to do is cut out the part where there's the content and the thing in between it and me, and have it just be the content and me, and the thing that just facilitates it.
It's
but that's not the cable. If the cable company isn't facilitating it, they're laundering it.
They're laundering it, but they do a thing that
this podcast is over.
They're not a service.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend cable companies. I think they're silly and stupid.
I think you're thinking about it. It's crossed your mind.
Well, I'm just saying.
Why do you like cable company?
Why
remotes?
are you in support of
Why do I like cable company remotes? this Comcast remote that's like gigantic and lights up in 4 different colors.
You gave that an 8.6.
Hey, wearable remotes.
I'm just saying. Look,
speaking of wearables,
let's go.
We gotta get this.
We'll pick this up tomorrow because guess what? We're gonna see more smart TVs, and we're almost at an hour and a half.
But this is.
Go ahead.
So I put on our topic list that Microsoft's keynote was the worst in show.
Yes.
Yep. But I also put on the list that this was the best in show.
It's gonna be really hard to show.
Wait, can I get this?
Can you punch it up? Watch out that you don't get your code on the.
Turn that off. Turn that off.
Pause that. We have it on the list. This is future technology.
I'm just gonna watch this all.
Hey, Creighton, get in here. Creighton, come on, hurry up.
It's very, very important things.
We need camera operator.
That's Jordan.
All right, we got Jordan. Well, no, Creighton was over there. I didn't see Jordan. You got it?
Where's this video?
So I think this is very minor, and I tweeted about it, and people were like, I don't get why this is cool, but
it's not loading here.
Okay, whatever.
Oh, fine. We'll watch it on a laptop, which has been able to play video since time immemorial.
I can definitely.
I can memorial that.
I got it. Chill out.
Oh, here we go. Is that working?
Yeah, here we go.
Did you hit the?
I did.
There's no audio here. Hold on.
They're 3D goggles that basically put a heads-up display in front of your eyes and let you do all kinds of cool stuff. It's actually running Android.
This is the best video David's done.
I just want you to see David. So this is like a virtual reality game he's playing.
There's some games that have been created specifically for this that create a whole 3D 360 world around you that you can interact in. And right now, it uses a wireless controller or your smartphone to interact. But soon it'll just be able to use your hands. So right now I'm playing a robot game where I'm a robot just traipsing around and I can punch and I'm just knocking buildings over. And if I jump, I actually jump and I can spin around and there's new buildings and it's everywhere. So it's this totally immersive experience.
They're just everywhere, man.
And then there's a dinosaur.
He could say anything.
Yeah,
I'm flying.
I'm eating a crayon.
The crayon just exploded in my stomach. I mean, he couldn't do that. He can't see that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Maybe he could in the goggles. Anyhow, I think we just thought that was. We just thought that was. But here's the thing. This is the thing about CES. Everybody. everybody, I'm just gonna say it, talk shit on CES. They're like, CES is lame, and why do people go there?
Because the big guys are doing boring stuff.
Yeah, it's because Lenovo's over here with this cursor on the screen.
Those cursors.
Well, just one more point on that.
Look, can I talk about remotes for another 5 minutes? 'Cause I'll do it.
But what is cool about CES, there's a lot of really, and I know this is like, oh, who would ever want that or who would ever need it? But like, this stuff is important.
I need that.
No, but it's important and it's cool and it's interesting. And at some point, the things you think like, hey, that's not important or nobody cares or that's just some little weird company and making some dumb stuff that isn't as cool as what Apple makes, that does influence what the rest of the world is doing. And I think there's a lot of people here doing really influential, really cool things. And to the people who don't think that's happening, and I'm not like a cheerleader for CES because there's a lot of horrible crap here, like Microsoft's keynote tonight. But there are cool things. There are diamonds in the rough, and the reason we come every year to do this is because finding those things is really exciting.
It was funny, Gary Shapiro, before the Microsoft keynote, was like, there was a time when they weren't sure if they wanted to let PCs come to CES.
Yeah.
There was like, and then Bill Gates came and gave a little talk and blew everybody's mind.
It was just there was a time when it was just TVs.
Yeah.
Well,
now it's just mostly
and
TVs.
radios and microwaves
and VCRs.
Right.
Oh, Samsung put out a smart washing machine today. You can control it with your smartphone.
I'm buying that. All right, that's it. That's our first Vergecast for CES. Nicely done. Really excellent job.
I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah, I'm proud of us too. Great job to the crew here.
Yeah.
As far as I know, and I don't know if you've been in Ustream or not, I don't think we had any major technical problems. Do we know?
They just said they couldn't hear anything we were saying.
Oh.
You know, by the way, the trailer's about to start on fire because you said that. Like, this is going to explode.
Seriously, so this wall.
Can I get an explosion?
We're going to see fire seeping through this wall and engulf the entire room. Anyhow, but we'll be back tomorrow night and every night this week up until Friday.
Yeah, but not from here. We're actually going to be...
We're going to be on the show floor for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And then we come back here for the last show on Friday.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the setup's going to be out on the floor, but I'm sure these guys will have to take care of.
Jordan, you feel good?
Jordan's feeling excellent. So that's our show for the night. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at podcast@theverge.com. You can leave a comment on the post when it goes up. You can find us on Twitter, Joshua Topolsky, Reckless. It's weird in person. Future Paul. At Verge is The Verge, and we'll do a list maybe of all of our writers. So
I think Thomas Houston did one. We'll do it up here.
We'll do it, and we'll put in forums or something. Anyhow, we'd love to hear what you guys had to say, and
actually, we want to know what you guys want to see us cover.
Yeah. If there's a CS forum, we have a CS hub page, which you should check out, which has, by the way, we have control over how we lay out the site, and there's so much news today that even having the ability to move every single thing around, you just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to hash through some of the stuff and see what we hit today. And we'll be doing story streams and compiling sort of best of every day. But
it's a little bit like homework.
It's kind of like
You
homework.
have homework.
But,
you have gadget homework.
But we have a CS forum.
And I would like an essay from each of you on the future of television on my desk.
Page 5.
I'd like to hear responses to this. But on the CS forum, I actually said, hey, what's the coolest thing you've seen? There's some great responses to it. And so feel free to...
I will say the response to that, tons of people saying Vizio Ultrabooks.
No, they're cool.
Thin lights or whatever.
They're cool.
Yeah.
They do look a little bit like MacBooks, though.
But they all do.
But whatever.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't look like any Dell. No offense, Dell.
I think there's going to be a Dell
products.
Ultrabook tomorrow, actually.
Whatever happened to Dell? I feel like we used to do a lot more.
Dell did this thin laptop with this curly spring.
All right, we gotta go. Anyhow, that's the show for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. We might try to start a little bit earlier tomorrow night, I think. Well, we don't.
Let's not make any promises.
No, no promises. But it'll probably be at 10:30.
You know what your grandpa used to say.
Yeah, that's true. He did used to say
Wishes
that.
are heavy. That's what my grandpa used to
Wishes
say.
are actually
heavy.
not as heavy as human feces.
Rock and roll.
That's that. Nailed it. Are we done? Are we off the air?